Well, Better Call Saulers, it's over. It's over. Last night, the series finale of Better Call Saul aired, Season 6, Episode 13. Saul gone. Saul gone. That's Saul, folks. And man, we thought that lightning could not strike twice. With Breaking Bad, it was such a great show with a phenomenal ending. An ending that left you feeling satisfied. And we know that doesn't always happen with shows like this. I'm looking at you, Dexter. I'm looking at you, Game of Thrones. But with Breaking Bad, we got a great show, and it ended with a great conclusion that left you feeling good. And we thought, surely it can't happen again. Surely they can't pull it off again with Better Call Saul. But in my opinion, they did it so well. This show was right on par with Breaking Bad, in my opinion, and the ending solidified it. We got to see some familiar characters that maybe we hadn't seen in a while. Of course, we saw Heisenberg, Walter White. But we also got to see Chuck in a flashback that we hadn't seen him in a while, and Mike. It feels like we haven't seen Mike in a long time, and we got to see him in a flashback as well. So good to see those familiar characters. But what I loved about this so much is that it was on par with what they did in Breaking Bad. It was just like what they did in Breaking Bad. In this Breaking Bad universe, you can experience redemption. Just like life, you can experience redemption, but at the same time, you're not free from the consequences of your actions. Think about Walter White. To some level, he experienced some level of redemption. He was able to go back to Albuquerque, set Jesse free, which was the right thing to do. He tried to apologize to Skyler and try to mend that as much as he could, even though there was only so much he could do. He set his children up with financial prosperity, even though they don't know he did it yet. But he set his children up with financial prosperity, and he tried to right as many wrongs as he could. So he experienced some level of redemption, and it was the first time Walter White had clarity to say, hey, I did this because I enjoyed it. It wasn't for the family. It wasn't because we had to. It was because I enjoyed it, and I liked the way that it made me feel, and I was good at it. So he was real. He was finally real with himself. He was finally real with Skyler. He had clarity, and that's a good thing. He finally was able to acknowledge his faults as a human being, but it did not free him from the consequences. He still died, and he still hurt a lot of people, and he had to pay for that. So now you look at Better Call Saul. Jimmy, Saul, Gene, whatever you want to call him. Major redemption for him at the end. At the end of this show, he finally did the right thing. He finally fessed up and confessed to like everything. You know, we saw that recurring theme through the episode of the time machine. The flashback with Mike, the flashback with Walter, the flashback with Chuck, where we kept seeing about that time machine, and he kept thinking about, if I had a time machine, what would I go back and change? And every answer he gave throughout the episode, it left you feeling like, really? That's what you would go back and change? The slip and fall where you hurt your knee? That, out of everything you've done, that's what you would go change. Finally, at the end of this episode in the courtroom, he reveals what he would actually go change. Most of it. He would go change the relationship he had with his brother. He would go change the relationship he had with Kim. He would, you know, not get involved with Walter White. I mean, those are regrets he has, and he expresses that in the courtroom in a way when he confesses to everything that he did, and he tells the truth finally, and he's real with everyone around him. And there's one person in this universe that could pull that out of Saul and make him return to his roots as Jimmy McGill, and that's Kim. That's Kim. To me, the switch flipped when he found out that Kim had confessed to the whole Howard Hamlin thing. He thought, man, I've got to go in there and do this for her. How many times in this series have we seen Jimmy or Saul, especially Saul or Gene, sacrifice himself for someone else? It doesn't happen. The closest thing we've seen is when he would take Chuck groceries out of the goodness of his heart to be there for his brother. That's the closest thing we've seen. But nobody compares to Kim in his eyes. And he saw an opportunity here to put himself on the line to do something good for her. And that's what finally drove him to tell the truth, to confess, to do the right thing, and to do something honorable for the first time in a very long time. I thought it was a beautiful moment to see them reconcile in their own crazy way with the cigarette. And here's the thing. Yes, it ends with Jimmy in jail. And I had a feeling it would end that way, but here's what's beautiful about it. That prison, to me, for Jimmy, is less of a prison than that Cinnabon was in the mall. I feel like he felt more imprisoned in that Cinnabon than he will in jail. Because at least in jail, the people like him. He doesn't have to hide who he is. Those inmates, like, they respect him because of what he did before he got in there. So he's got friends. He doesn't have to hide. He doesn't have to work some mundane job that he hates. And he can know that Kim is presumably doing well on the outside. So, in a way, it's all's well that ends well, but it's still sad. It's still sad, first of all, because you don't want the show to end, but also that image of him after all this time finally behind the prison and in the cage and seeing Kim leave and kind of that finality of that. Like, he's not getting out of prison. It really hit hard. It really hit hard. And, but it's in the Breaking Bad universe, this is like a happy ending. In its own weird way, this is as happy an ending as you're going to get. He finally has, acknowledged and is aware of his actions and has finally done something honorable for Kim and, for himself. And also the shot of him in the courtroom when he started talking about Chuck and they got the shot of the exit sign buzzing. Oh my gosh, that gave me chills when he said that after he confessed and he said, "Call me Jimmy McGill, that's my name," in the court. Chills that moment too. A phenomenal show. If you hadn't watched the show, I'm sorry because I just spoiled everything for you. Why did you click on this video? What a phenomenal show. And Bob Odenkirk and I'm not going to start naming names because everybody involved with this show was incredible. The ending was incredible. Bravo to the creators, writers, and everybody who had anything to do with this show. And I'll probably end up watching it again very soon. Better Call Saul. He ends it as Jimmy McGill the way that it was always supposed to be. Thank you guys. Bye.